Hey everybody, hope you all are doing well, and welcome back to another Dark Souls 3 challenge run. Today, I'm going to see if I can beat Dark Souls 3 by only using Pyromancies. So we picked the Pyromancy class because, with the obvious out of the way, it has an even amount of intelligence and faith levels at the start. And after making our character, who may or may not be a reference to the Fantastic Four, our run begins. After barbecuing that guy for absolutely no reason, we pick up the Ashen Estus Flask, which is going to be a crucial component for this run. Soon it was time to fry the first boss of this run, Gundyr. And damn, we do a lot of damage already. Now Gundyr is very weak to fire in phase 2, and it doesn't take long at all for him to go down. With Gundyr out of the way, we head over to Firelink Shrine where we pick up our usual Estus Shard and Silver Serpent Ring. And then we open these double doors and enter the High Wall of Lothric. And then it was time to face Vort of the Boreal Valley. Our damage wasn't looking too bad, and because Vort was doing whatever this is, I was able to get a lot of good hits in. Because Vort was too busy aura farming and not attacking me, it's not long until we get him down to phase 2. Now Vort does get one or two good hits on me, but it's not too long until he goes down. After that, we raise this banner and we arrive at the Undead Settlement. While we're here, I talk to Yol of Londor, who will give me some free levels at Firelink Shrine. As we explore the settlement, we pick up the Fiery Clutch Ring, which increases my fire damage in return for me taking more damage. And then we come up here and we free Cornyx, and he'll be very helpful in this run because I can buy Pyromancies from him. We then head back to Firelink Shrine where we upgrade our health, stamina, and faith. And then we talk to Yol and we get our 5 free levels. Then back at the Undead Settlement, we take a detour and we grab Flynn's Ring and the Calanthe Ring. And then it was time to face the Cursed Ruddy Greatwood. So this might come as a surprise, but this tree is weak to fire. And because of that, I was feeling pretty confident that this fight will be very easy. Now it did immediately take me a few tries, but I finally get to phase 2 with more than one flask, and our damage was still looking pretty solid. And with one more fireball to the hand, the Cursed Ruddy Greatwood goes down. We then travel back to Firelink Shrine where I get some more levels into health, stamina, and intelligence. We then head over to the Crucifixion Woods where I pick up the Great Swamp Pyromancy Tome, and I can give this to Cornyx back at Firelink Shrine so he'll give me more Pyromancies. And then we enter Farron Keep. I want to take on the Abyss Watchers now because once we get into the Catacombs of Karthus, there's not 1, not 2, but 3 Pyromancy Tomes that I can get very early. We pick up the Dream Chaser's Ashes, which allows us to buy an infinite amount of Titanite Shards. And then we head back to Firelink Shrine and we give Cornyx the Great Swamp Pyromancy Tome. And with it, I buy the Fire Orb, which is like a fireball, but better. And after collecting a few more Titanite Shards, it was time to face the Abyss Watchers. And our damage was looking pretty solid. I was a little bit nervous about this fight because the Abyss Watchers are pretty aggressive and I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough time to be able to throw my fire at them, but thankfully, with enough patience and spacing, I was able to hit the Abyss Watchers pretty consistently. And it doesn't take too long for the Abyss Watchers to go down to phase 2. Now this phase is a little bit better because there's a lot more openings I'm able to take advantage of and get a hit or two in. But like first phase, it was really all about patience and getting enough space between me and the Abyss Watchers. Now even though I got pretty close to dying, this fight was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, and with one more fireball, the Abyss Watchers go down. We make our way back to Firelink Shrine where we get some levels into Faith, Intelligence, and Endurance, and then we enter the Catacombs of Karthus. We jump off this bridge and onto this ledge, and here we pick up the Karthus Pyromancy Tome. And in order to grab the second Pyromancy Tome, we first have to take out High Lord Wolnir. Now this fight took a little longer than I thought it would, but soon High Lord Wolnir goes down, and we pick up our reward, the Grave Warden Pyromancy Tome. We head back over to Firelink Shrine where we give Cornyx the Karthus Pyromancy Tome, and with that I buy the Bursting Fireball, Karthus Beacon, and Great Combustion. And then we trade in Wolnir's Soul for the Black Serpent Pyromancy. So this is a Dark Pyromancy, which means that it deals dark damage, so it'll be very helpful against enemies that are weak to dark damage, and it'll also be very helpful against demons because demons are pretty good at resisting fire, and because pyromancy is for the most part fire based, it's nice to have pyromancies that can deal dark damage too. Anyway, with all that yapping out of the way, I head back over to the Catacombs of Karthus where I pick up the Witch's Ring, which greatly increases my pyromancy damage, and then we head over to Smoldering Lake where you pick up our usual supply of large Titanite shards. We then head deeper into the Catacombs, picking up Pyromancy Tomes and other Pyromancies around the area. Once we're back at Firelink Shrine, we give Cornyx the Izlith Pyromancy Tome. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. And the other two Pyromancy Tomes we collected, we can't give to Cornyx, and we're going to have to give it to somebody else that we can rescue later in this run. But for right now, I get the Great Chaos Fire Orb, and then I decided to go give the Old Demon King a try. So we do have the Black Serpent Pyromancy, which is good against the Old Demon King. However, we also have the Poison Mist Pyromancy, and I had heard that the Old Demon King was pretty weak to poison, and so I was excited to try out this Pyromancy. It didn't take long at all for the Demon King to become poisoned, and the damage was actually looking pretty solid. And during phase 2, the Poison Mist became a lot more helpful, and as you can see, it was doing an insane amount of damage. Now for Pyromancy only, this fight was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, and with Poison Mist clutching up, the Old Demon King goes down on the first try. And once we're back at Firelink Shrine, we trade in the Old Demon King's soul for one of the best Pyromancies in the whole game, the Chaos Bed Vestige. Man, this thing is amazing. With the new Pyromancy in hand, I head back over to the Crucifixion Woods, and after getting another Estus Shard, it was time to barbecue the fuck out of Crystal Sage. And holy crap, that damage is so much better than I thought it would be. Damn! The damage was looking absolutely insane. It only takes 5 uses of the Chaos Bed Vestige for the Crystal Sage to go down in flames. With the Crystal Sage out of the way, we make our way towards the Cathedral of the Deep. I pick up another Estus Shard, an Undead Bone Shard, and then once I enter the Cathedral, I pick up Lloyd's Sword Ring, which increases my damage when I'm at full health. And then it was time to face off against the Deacons of the Deep. And damn, our damage is looking really good. The Chaos Bed Vestige was super helpful in this fight because it was able to take out a large group of deacons at once, and it doesn't take too long for the deacons to go up in flames. With the deacons taken care of, we head back over to Firelink Shrine where I get some levels into Attunement, Faith, and Health. And then we enter the absolutely beautiful Irithyll of the Boreal Valley. Making my way through the Irithyll dungeon, I barbecue this Mimic chest for an Estus shard. And then I barbecue yet another Mimic chest for the Dark Clutch ring. I grabbed this ring so the Dark Pyromancies can do extra damage. And making my way deeper through the Irithyll dungeon, I pick up the Profaned Flame Pyromancy, plus a few large Titanite shards. And then we meet the woman who's going to be insanely helpful for the rest of this run, Carla. After freeing her, we head back over to Firelink Shrine and we give her the darker Pyromancy tomes that Cornix didn't accept earlier. And thanks to her, I buy the Black Fire Orb and the Fire Whip. And then it was time to take on Pontiff Sullivan. And damn, we do a lot of damage. Because Pontiff doesn't really know what to do and I'm far away from him, I'm able to hit him a lot with the Chaos Bed Vestige, and we soon get him down to phase 2. And while Pontiff is summoning another clone, I throw one more fireball at him, and Pontiff Sullivan goes down. We make a quick pit stop at Firelink Shrine to get some levels into Stamina and Attunement. And then on the way to Anne Orlando, I make another pit stop to pick up the Ring of Favor, which increases my health, stamina, and equip load. With the Ring of Favor now obtained, I head over to Anne Orlando where after picking up another Estus shard, it was time to face off against Ultrage. And damn, our damage is insane. And a few fireballs later, we absolutely obliterate Ultrage. With Ultrage out of the way, we head back over to Firelink Shrine where I get some more levels into Faith and Stamina. And from there, we head straight to the Profaned Capital to take on Yorm. Now, I was pretty anxious about this fight because Yorm has a massive health pool, and without the Storm Ruler, he doesn't really take a whole lot of damage. Thankfully though, our Black Fire Orb seemed to do a decent amount of damage, and hitting Yorm in the head did a lot more damage. So my plan was to only attack Yorm when I knew I could hit his head, because if we get enough headshots, we'll eventually be able to stagger him. And as you can see right here, the damage we do while he's staggered is really good. Now it did take me a few tries, and it took a lot of missing Pyromancies, but finally, Yorm the Giant goes down. With Yorm taken care of, I head back over to Firelink Shrine where I get some more levels into Faith, and then it was time to face off against the Dancer of the Boreal Valley. Man, that damage is crazy. However, what's even more crazier is that Dancer is really weak to dark damage, and with our Black Fire Orb, the damage was insane. And just like that, the Dancing Dancer danced her last dance. We then travel over to the Consumed King's Garden. I pick up yet another Estus shard, and then it was time to take on Osiris, the Consumed King, and our damage was looking pretty good. Now I don't know what the hell was going on, but Osiris was being really aggressive this time around. He kept spamming his charge attack and I kept getting hit with it. Ouch. Now it does take me a few tries, but finally the schizophrenic dragon goes down. We then immediately head over to the untended graves where it was time to face one of my favorite bosses in the whole game, Champion Gundyr. And damn, we are absolutely annihilating him. This was also the first time I used the Fire Whip, and I was pretty impressed. And with one more Fire Whip, Champion Gundyr goes down. With the champion taken down, I head back over to Firelink Shrine where I get some more levels into faith and health, and then we travel over to the Dragon Barracks to face off against the Dragon Slayer armor. So for this fight, I decided to use the Great Combustion, the Great Chaos Fire Orb, and the Bursting Fireball, and safe to say, all these Pyromancies were really good. And with one more Great Chaos Fire Orb, the Dragon Slayer armor is defeated. And with the Dragon Slayer armor taken care of, we can now access the Grand Archives. With our Pyromancy Flame up to max level and donning some incredible new armor, it was time to face the Twin Princes. Now my damage was actually a lot better than I thought it would be, and it doesn't take long for Lorien to go down to phase 2 and for Prince Lothric to join the fray. Now as you can see, for the majority of this fight we were using Great Combustion, and not only was the damage really good, but because we also get kind of low when using it, we were able to dodge some of the attacks. The Great Chaos Fire Orb was also pretty helpful in this fight. Because Lorien would stand still for a few seconds after he was done attacking, the lava pool that was made after using the Great Chaos Fire Orb damaged him a bit more too. And after a hard but fun fight, a few more fireballs caused the Twin Princes to go down. Perfect timing too, because I had just run out of FP and Ashen Estus flasks. I get a few more levels into Intelligence, and then it was time to face the final boss of this run, the Soulless Cinder. The Soulless Cinder put up a good fight, but we soon get him down to phase 2. So I have never seen this before, but apparently the Soulless Cinder can deflect Pyromancies at the end of that combo. I've never seen that before, so I was a little caught off guard by that. It was cool, but I was just like, huh, you know what I mean? Now it did take me a few tries, but with one more Great Combustion, the Soulless Cinder goes down, concluding my Pyromancy only run in Dark Souls 3. And there you have it, I beat Dark Souls 3 by only using Pyromancies. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I personally really enjoyed making it, and it was a lot of fun. I'm excited for more challenge runs in the future, and until next time, Thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of your day, night, morning, afternoon, whenever it is you're watching this, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.